Is there a motion?
Move. Second.
Discussion, Councilmember Green?
Sorry.
No discussion.
Okay. Moving to a vote, favoring opposed, item carries.
Okay, under a matter of health. Item 61, is there a motion?
Move.
Discussion.
Is there a second? There's moved and seconded, Councilmember Green.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, first of all, let me thank Public Works for working with us on this. We have heard with the superintendent, the president, of the successful work in Norwood Village, and they did an outstanding job. It's a beautiful reconstruction of a neighborhood, streets, sidewalks, curb and gutter, and I'm happy to pass this today, and we just like to thank the contractors on this particular job. They did a fantastic job. Thank you.
Always glad to hear that, Councilmember. Moving to a vote, favoring opposed, item carries.
Item 62 is an ordinance.
Discussion, Councilmember Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to thank Lieutenant Pitzman and Sergeant Provost and Clifton and Martha and everyone who helped us Monday with talking to some of the industry relating to these two items, 62 and 63, and coming to consensus. The first amendment, which is this item 62, is just inserting the word non-consent, just to have further clarity, because it was implied in the section, but the industry wanted to have that in there, and so that's a simple insert of the word non-consent. And so I moved to amend item 62 with this amendment.
And the administration fully supports the amendment. There's no discussion. We'll move to a vote on the amendment. Favoring, opposed, item carries. And then now a vote on 62 as amended. Favoring, opposed, item carries.
Item 63 is an ordinance.
Councilmember Brown.
This is two, okay, let's see here. We had a second handout. The one that's the red line version is the one we look at because the first printout did not have the word not crossed out and the word if crossed out. So if you're looking at the correct one, it's with the red ink on the page. And there are two changes. One is striking the 25,000 square foot limitation. And the second one is there's something dealing with some type of 90-day delay that they agreed that could be struck. So the question that arises, and I've had conversations with some council, is relating to 25,000 square foot limitation. And granted, we don't want in neighborhoods ugly, small little car lots here and there. As Americans, of course, we're not going to discriminate against looks or whatever, especially in business. But we can certainly have the freedom for an individual to have a nice looking place in a non-neighborhood lot, but they're going to be prevented from doing so if we have this type of limitation. And so we had that discussion and came to consensus on that issue. We don't want to have to deal with any legal matters moving forward. And that's all. So I moved to make those amendments.
And Councilmember submitted the amendments in writing, and Councilmember, thank you for working with the administration on both of these amendments. I intend to support them, and I hope council will as well. Chair recognizes Councilmember Noriega.
Thank you, Mayor. And well, I appreciate the fact that you support this. I'm comfortable about it. And there are a couple different ways that we can move forward. One of the options is that this could be tagged and we finish it off. The other option is to go ahead and vote on it and let all of us decide. But what it looks like to me, Mayor, is that this just allows these lots in neighborhoods. Is that correct?
It reverts to the current ordinance. The current ordinance allows now for 10 cars. This would add the square footage requirement. This would remove the square footage, and the ordinance will be as it already is.
Could you explain to me why you're supporting it? Because it seems to me like this is an opportunity to not have this kind of thing in neighborhoods. Now, I understand there are deed restriction issues, but you've got grandfather stuff. But I just think it's an opportunity here that we're going to miss, and I need to understand why we would want to have these small lots in neighborhoods. I don't get it.
They're already there. It is not, her request was that we keep the ordinance as it was.
And I'm on the fly here a little, so forgive
Okay.
me.
And I responded favorably to her suggestion that this would be onerous on existing small businesses.
Okay, going forward, were we going to regulate this or not? Tell me what, not how we're grandfathered what is, but going forward, are we eliminating a tool to try to improve the neighborhoods here?
Councilmember, perhaps, but I would suggest that since the original amendment came from Councilmember Brown, that if she would allow, I'd like you to address your
I'd be
question.
happy to do that.
Councilmember Brown.
Councilmember Brown. And
Thank you.
just tell me what you
Thank-
think.
And I agree with your sentiment. It's just, we're in the United States of America, and I think we can't position ourselves to eliminate the opportunity for a person that has 10,000 foot square lot in a non-residential area that's going to do a great job at creating that business, to not have that opportunity. We can't, because of a fear of having more within the neighborhood areas, we can't say you can't have that opportunity. See, it's just un-American in essence. And initially, this was not something that came forward, but it came up in the meeting. And we're like, okay, this is something that we're in agreement on, is that we really can't legally say, okay, we're going to say because of a fear in certain areas that we're going to prevent opportunity in other areas. You see, we don't have what do you call it? I'm drawing a blank on the name, but Dallas and all these places where we say what can go where
Jurisdiction,
Zoning.
Zoning, there you go.
Zoning.
We don't have zoning, and so we really can't say across the board, nobody's not going to be able to have, because of fear of the neighborhoods. You see what I'm saying? We do have deed restrictions, and we hope to work with, people that are coming into our neighborhoods to make sure that good things are coming in. But I think this across the board is just not what we want to do to prevent opportunity for people that may choose to have the freedom to do that in a good area that may be opportune for them.
Okay. Councilmember Noriega, Lieutenant Hinsman is here if you wish to talk to Councilmember Brown.
Well, I think I've got it. Let me just say that I think sort of the larger constitutional argument over whether or not we have small storage lots in neighborhoods seems like an awfully big hammer to hit this nail with. But I don't like it, and I'm uncomfortable with it. I think that we're reducing our ability to protect neighborhoods here, and I'm uncomfortable in so many ways. I also wasn't part of the discussion enough to be completely up to speed on it, and I am admitting that. I just know looking at this amendment, I don't like it, and I think it's unfortunate. I also have the choice to tag it or to vote no on the amendment, and I'm going to vote no rather than tag it, but I don't like it. I think it is reducing our ability to protect our neighborhoods. I appreciate your argument. I think it's an awfully big argument for this kind of thing, but I get it. So I'm going to vote no on this, and I'm telling you why. And I don't like it.
And I agree with the sentiment. It's just having a property owner say, I might be in a very good position to have a 10,000 square foot lot, storage lot, and it's in a good place, and we're going to do a good job at the way it looks. He's not going to be able to have that opportunity to do that with a 10,000 square foot lot. I think he should have that opportunity if he so chose.
I think having these spring up in neighborhoods is just not a good thing.
You're right.
I'm sorry,
Again, yeah.
I can't
Thank
vote
you.
for this. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor, I appreciate you giving me a minute.
And just to be clear, Councilmember, it reverts it just means the ordinance doesn't change. This is essentially an amendment to records, and this happened to be something that was put in to that, and it leaves the current policy as is. If her amendment is accepted, I just want to make sure, I know you do, Councilmember, I just want to make sure everybody was following that. Councilmember Green.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, I too, after discussion, I will tag this item, but I have serious concerns for neighborhoods on this one. When you go to some of the neighborhoods in my area, you will see storage lots as you enter the neighborhood that are not subjected to G restrictions. And so what this does, this allows those storage lots to expand and have, I guess, a blueprint or a base or a neighborhood in the entry of the neighborhood, some in the middle of the neighborhood that just totally goes to the blight of the area. And while there are some responsible storage lot owners who actually invest maybe in facade or beautification of their particular area, the majority of those in my district do not. They're all about making a profit and doing well. And I have no problem with making a profit, but I don't want to do it to the expense of property values of those residents in those neighborhoods. And so, according to this, we're just opening up the floodgates to allow storage lots in the middle of neighborhoods. And so, I will hold my tag until the end of this type of discussion, discussion, but I do look forward to sitting down with you, making sure that I fully understand, and also to vet this with my neighborhoods to make sure that our neighborhoods remain protected. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Councilmember Lassiter.
Mayor, I think I'm the last one on the list.
No, sir, there are.
Am I not?
Everybody wants to wait on.
Oh, wonderful. Well, what I was hoping to be able to do is tag both the amendment and the main motion so we can absorb the consequences of both sets of language. If there are other persons in the queue, I certainly would not like to take away their opportunity to voice a concern about that. But I would like to reserve the right to tag both the amendment and the main motion. And item number 63, since I was not here last week.
So the item will be tagged, but if the council members want to continue to weigh in today, they can do so. I don't see anybody removing their request to speak.
If I can get back in the queue, please.
Councilman Raddick. I'll recognize the tag. Councilman Raddick.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a question for legal, if I may.
Yes, ma'am.
Attorney Feldman. Under this amendment, when we talking about storage lots in communities, can you define the legal definition of storage lots when it's inside a neighborhood?
Councilmember, I can't do it from memory. I know it's in the ordinance stuff.
I just want to know, because when you have in communities, because when you have communities, especially in our neighborhoods, people may put, because now they're looking at this ordinance and they may put in, put 2 vacant lots together, 3 vacant lots together, 4 vacant lots together, and then come down and get a permit and consider it a storage lot to allow them to store cars, and something that our neighborhoods is trying to prohibit. So I just wanted to know the legal definition of a storage lot and what doors are we opening for individuals who want to start opening businesses, because now we have, we have the parking ordinance, we have everything that we cannot enforce, but yet still we're discussing this, and I understand she left. That Mayor Parker, that she had this, this has already been in place and it's going back to its original form. But now we have opened that door of a loophole, and I'll be saying, oh, this is the way that we can do this now. So I'm just trying to figure out what legal definitions are we giving for storage lots inside neighborhoods that are deed restricted. If in the past that has not been a storage lot, it's just been 3 or 4 vacant lots that's in a row.
I can get that for you after the meeting.
Okay.
The council member doesn't allow any loophole, it just allows it to be as it has. The RCA does have a definition for consent storage lot operator, which is many times a source of confusion for many applicants. According to the RCA, it says the name changes to clarify that this license is specific to consent storage lots.
And I understand, I just wanted to ask, because we have people that's looking at this that don't have the RCA like we do. So I just want, you just get an understanding from a legal perspective, because I think it needs to be identified, and then she's having an amendment. I just think everything needs to be clear, because we are talking about neighborhoods, and we want to make sure those neighborhoods maintain their protection. So I just wanted just to get that clarity.
And the council member did work with auto dealers, Lieutenant Hitzman and her team in legal to work on this amendment, and that's why the administration was supported, because it wasn't going to allow you to move or change anything.
Councilmember, if I may.
Yeah, I'm just asking, I was
You
just
wanna
like,
give
yeah,
someone
I
a
thank
sign?
you for chiming in, but I just wanted just to make sure that we're clear on what we're doing. But I mean, I understand where you're going, Councilmember, especially with 25,000 feet, and I understand all of that. But I just want to make sure we're talking about neighborhoods and communities. Hopefully we're not setting a precedence, because some people, because this, and when you live in underserved neighborhoods, people will use whatever they need to use to come in and set up something because it's in a poor neighborhood, unfortunately. And unfortunately, in some neighborhoods, you won't deal with this. But in some neighborhoods, because it's unsighted and unseen, that this will give them an opportunity to come into neighborhoods where that is not as visible, like, in various parts of the city. So I just want to make sure that what we're doing, that our communities understand, because even though, we've had communications with legal, I've had communication with dealing with Chapter 8, since it came before my committee, been dealing with it, but yet still, we have to make sure that the community understands what we're doing, because yes, we're communicating with legal, we're communicating with auto dealers, but the community where this is going to go needs to be communicated to as well. So I just want to make sure that we just have that across the board. Yes, ma'am.
This is not opening up anything new. It's maintaining the current status.
Yes.
It's not going backwards. It's not. It's maintaining status quo.
Right.
And so there's no opening of floodgates or giving additional loopholes or anything like that. It's just keeping things as they are. And I do understand the problem with having unsightly businesses in certain areas, and unfortunately, we can't get into the business of zoning in a sense, or saying, we don't want you in this area or whatever. We have to work in our community to find ways to get those businesses out, or encourage them to go elsewhere, or bring in a new economic development in our areas. And I'm working very hard to do that in my district, because I know we have some.
And I understand, where we're going, I definitely understand. I just wanted the definition clarified.
Yeah, and
Because this is a new
change.
Just want the definition identified, because someone could come later and declare a storage lot in the community based under what we have. Because whenever you open Pandora's box, something that's not been opened, then new minds start to trickle in and people start to
Nothing's
think.
being opened. Nothing's been opened.
Point of order, please, Mayor.